What's going on there, fellow YouTubers? Chris back with you. Guys, this is going to be a different video. This is going to be about how easy and how much NASA has went out of their way to hide what's in these photos. Now, some of you subs know the person I'm going to be talking about. He goes by, his first name is Jeffrey. He's got his own channel and decided to bash one of my videos. And that's the one I said, you know, the high-rise camera, you know, takes photos on Mars of structures on Mars. And so he just took it upon himself to try to bash my video, claiming that I'm misleading people. Well, I said, well, so I went back and forth with the guy. And, of course, he's just adamant about he's just going to, I'm going to be the truth police. I'm going to show these guys what's going on. But what's funny about it is I said, okay, well, you know, just because you're showing, he's showing people, look, it's the JP2 you should be looking at format. Okay. And I tried to explain to him, and if he looked it up, he would find out that JP2 is just a simpler format or more widespread known or format that people use. And it's just a glorified version of JPEGs. And, of course, he scoffed at that. And I said, look, I used a PDS when I did that photo and the picture, which is this one here. Let me see what I do with it. This one here. Now, what's funny about this, and I tried to explain to him, there's several ways I did this. What he did was he went, well, and of course he's trying to show people that I'm wrong about this, and he says, like on this particular, what I call like an opening or part of this crater or whatever it was supposed to be, but what he did was he went, this is what he's trying to show. Where do you see the structures? Because he's trying to say that there's no structures on this in this photo. Nowhere did I even do that in my video. Anybody could go back to that video and see it. I mean, nobody, you know. So anyway, what he doesn't understand, and I'm going to explain this now. I did this area here, and I've done this right here, I believe. But you can look at any one of these. Right here, you can stop it. You know, grab your, these are the best ones to use, guys, these little eyepieces. And you can look right in this area alone, and oh, my God. He goes, well, I don't have to, you know, you guys don't have to zoom into this because you can get this JP2. Well, here's the problem. And I told him a lot of these photos, I don't care if it's a TIFF, JPEG, JP2s, even PDSs, they've all been kind of reworked in some way, shape, or form. And, of course, again, he scoffed at that. And I said, well, okay. The reason why I tell people not to zoom in is because the second you do that, this is what happens. Well, all you see is pixels and, any kind of photo artifacts. So, by going outward this way, this is what I did. Let's say I took this photo of this area right here. What I did was I then took it. So, in other words, I'd screenshot this particular area right here. This is one of the photos. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Took it into Photoshop. Then I added more pixels to blow the picture up more. So, we're adding more pixels. Then I put a slight blur to get rid of any artifacts or any, compression marks, if you will, so that we can just see just the actual what we want to see in the photo, nothing more. And, of course, he thinks I just went like this and, oh, yeah, look at it. Where does he see structures? Well, of course you're not going to see it that way, man. Common sense. So he doesn't understand how how I did this. But then I came out with these here, and this is what you see. Now, and I told people, don't zoom in. If I do this, yeah, all you're going to see is pixels and compression marks. Common sense. But if you back way out, I mean, I don't even need a magnifier to see this now. I don't even need a magnifier. But, okay, so I jumped over to, well, let me go back the other way. And I did this here. Again, you should not see compression artifacts, nor should you see pixelation unless you did this. Okay? And I'm not doing that. I got it way back, and I said, just look at these things with a magnifier. I can look at it. Now, nowhere did I say none of these are rocks. But what he did was he took the JP2, and this is what's funny, took the JP2, which does have a good resolution, don't get me wrong, zoomed way in, and yes, they look like rocks. They don't look like structures. But my question is, what makes him believe that they wouldn't falsify this image? He already has this predisposed idea that, he even said it, NASA would not lie. But then in the video, later on in the video, he says, now, I believe NASA does lie at times. Well, wait a minute, hold on. You can't be contradictive. They're either lying or they're not. Simple as that. So, so we went back and forth, and, he says, and then in his recent video, I don't need to know how these photos are put together. Oh, no, you absolutely do. That's like me, here's an analogy, that's like me walking into any big car automaker and saying, okay, let's say Toyota, just for argument's sake. And I walk in and I said, two things, guys. One, I don't believe you ever designed a dual overhead cam engine, nor does it work. Okay. First of all, I'm either going to be laughed out of there or I'm going to be thrown out because of my huge, just because I'm just ignorant. And that's what I told him. I said, you're just being ignorant. You're just showing your ignorance. Oh, he's name-calling. That's not name-calling. Calling you a piece of garbage or something like that, that's a name-call. I'm describing how you're acting. There's a difference between the two. And, of course, he's whining about that. But here's the thing. He's bashing my video. He's calling me a bully. What's funny about it is a couple of you guys here, my subs, have told me about this guy. I didn't know the guy from Adam. How am I the bully when I didn't even know this guy to begin with? And nowhere, if you look at any of my videos, do I bash anybody's videos. Here's the funny part. This is what's crazy. I've seen a lot of videos in my lifetime on here, long before I started doing video. And there's a lot of videos I disagree with. And I'm not just talking about these. It could be any videos about any topic. I could disagree with them strongly, but I don't go out and make videos about it and act like a child. And, oh, this guy's so wrong, man. Look at this. But whatever. I mean, you know, you do what you got to do. But he's wrong when he says that I don't need to know how these photos are put together. Yes, you do. You absolutely do. Because, like I said, and you guys have been following along, the Curiosity on Mars will take a photo, the original photo's here, and then it can take up to 4 to 8 copies of that same area. Now, what they'll do is they can have one that's 80% transparent, overlay it, and then they can, on that overlay, they can take out any area they want to. Why would they do that? Well, because you got the original photo, which means all the information about that photo is in it, meaning type of camera, what the aperture was set at, so on and so forth in the whole list. The overlay is to hide whatever's in it. Now, people will laugh at that, or they won't believe that. But I'm about to show you this, and this goes for anybody. It's not about the Jeffreys in the world. It's about anybody who's like, well, I'm still on the fence about that. I'm not really sure what you mean. Why would they lie about it? And I just did a video not too long ago. I said, look, people claim that a lot of these, none of these are real, that they're all CGI, and that we've never left Earth. Well, here's the thing. Picture this a moment. CGI, that's a computer-generated image. Okay, knowing that, that means they made this thing from scratch, right? Made it from scratch. But here's the big question. If they made it from scratch, why would they have any reason to either block out information in a photo or, you know, obfuscate it, manipulate it in any way, shape, or form? What would be the point? This is the reason why I believe unequivocally that these are real photos and that they are in it. So now, again, here's the other photo here. And you guys know, you've seen the video. But it's just crazy how they're just like, oh, no, you know. I would expect to see squares and all kinds of goofy stuff with artifacts and so on and so forth. But I'm not even into the photo far enough to see this. But anyway, let me do this. This is the one I'm talking about right here. This is, and you can see right down here, Sol 1454. And this was taken with the right mass cam, or the right camera on the mass cam. And you can see this right here. Now, to me, and anybody else looking at this doesn't even bother to get into this photo, says, hey, looks like a perfectly innocent photo to me. And they'd be right. However, like most people should do, is do their research. And I'm talking about the guys who love to flame other people's videos. If they really, really looked into these photos, they would see that, in fact, they are lying. What I thought was cool about this, though, there's 2 objects here. There's one here, right in this area. And there's one down here that has these kind of funky features. Now, let's have a look at that. I'm gonna actually blow this picture up a little bit just by adding pixels, and you're gonna see this. This is at 66% here. It's gonna stay at 66% here. But what I'm gonna do is this: take the color out, and then, or the orangey color, if you will, make it more natural, and we're gonna add more pixels. Okay. So let it go in. Let it load the photo. Okay. So now this is more natural, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take away the shadows. Okay, now let's have a look at this picture, this part right here. You've got this, I'm going to zoom way in for you guys because I know a lot of you guys requested that, hey, Chris, can you get in closer to this? But right here, it has this weird feature here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It looks like this square type thing, but has this middle section. But it almost looks like, I almost call it like a pair of scissors. Let me back out just a hair bit because it has this, like these cross sections, if you will. But it looks like this white or lighter colored pieces going right into this. So it almost looks like there's this weird jumbled mechanical junk just laying there. This right here has this oval shape. See that right there? Almost like a football stadium. You know, like it kind of goes like this. It kind of like, it's oval at the end, and it kind of does that at the end, but it has, like it goes in like this. Or like a racetrack, where it actually is angled, so when you're going around corners, you can literally stick to the track. So you get that weird thing going on there. Let me back out just a hair bit. We'll jump down to the other one, and you can see that. And we're going to just zoom into this one here. Right here. Check this out. And it has a couple little features on it. And you can't really make out these things, but, you know, but nonetheless, there's some objects laying here, and you're going to see this a little bit better in a second. There's something right here, too. Now, let's jump out of this. Let's go back in a little bit more. Get a little more detail out of the photo. And you notice when I started using the burn tool on this, suddenly, guess what? There's all kinds of these weird, funky colors coming out of it. Look at it. Okay? But what I did was burn through the manipulation that's over this. Now, here we go. All these guys would never do this. NASA would never do this. Okay. I'm going to show you that in a minute because you're going to love this. Okay. Right there. And you can see this jumbled pile of junk and all kinds of stuff laying there. And, of course, we've got this piece here. Okay. Now, let's jump in a little bit. And it's got this weird, almost like steel tubing or whatever the hell that is or whatever that may be. But whatever. Let's say it's just rock. Just for argument's sake. Okay. And for the record, too, these guys will claim, they go, oh, you know, you're trying to, you know, it's like disinformation. Well, hold on a minute. Nowhere do I say to people, by the way, this is what this object is. You have to believe exactly what I'm saying. Nowhere do I do that. I always tell my subs, hey, listen, guys, this is what I believe it is. You know, whether I believe it wholeheartedly or not. And I say, you guys get the last word. Tell me what you think it is. Give me your comments down below. And that's the truth. That's, you know, when he says, oh, you just, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm just claiming that that's what I believe it is. There's no way to vet any of this in any photo. So anyway, this is where it gets bizarre. Now I'm going to sharpen this so you guys can see this a little better. And now what I'm going to do, as most people should do, is look at this. But notice how there's information taken out of here. See how it's like all blurry? Why do you suppose that is? People say, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, let's have a look. Let's go into the photo. I'm going to go back into the smaller photo. This is the original now. This is the original. But this is a magenta plate. What you do is you go to View, Proof Setup, and go to Magenta. Now, let's have a look at this and see if what I'm saying is true or if I'm just blowing smoke. Let's have a look up here. You guys notice that? Look at the information. Now, don't get me wrong. This is pixelated now because this is the original photo, and I didn't add any pixels. So the more you zoom into this on a low-res photo, what happens? It starts to degrade. Right. So here's look at the actual information's totally been blotted out of this photo, except for what they want you to see. Now, because they probably left this in, they probably figured it wouldn't matter. They're not going to know what the hell it is anyway. But anyway, check this out. Okay? Completely taken out, right? Now let's do this. I want to show you this because this is cool. This is going to be the biggest. I mean, you can see this. Look at this. This is just a regular photo. Look at the information. Completely been obscured. It's been obfuscated. It's been completely taken out. Why? What's there to hide, guys? All right. Now, I want to show you something. This is pretty funny. This sloping area right here, which, you know, clearly looks like dirt. I would agree. Unless you took this thing into same photo, put it into magenta. Now watch this. Are you seriously kidding me? Look at the information. It's been totally taken out. Here's the information here. This is the area. You can see details in it, right? It's completely taken right out. In fact, this piece right here is supposed to look like a rock. You can see quarter of it is actually taken out. You'll see that a little bit better in a second. Completely obfuscated. Completely taken out. Why do you suppose they do this, guys? This is the reason why I don't believe that these are fake photos. I believe they're real, but they're only letting out so much information. Now, this is where it gets funky because let's jump in. And like I said, just look at any of this stuff here. You can see where it's been obfuscated. It's literally been, the information's been taken out of the photo. Here, all in here. In fact, I think it's over here as well. Let me do this. Like I said, all in here. Now, let's jump to black plate. And I'm going to go right here, View, Proof Setup, go to the black plate. The only reason why I did that is I wanted to mark it up, but check this out. This whole area. Are you seriously kidding me? Oh, they don't obfuscate nothing out. You can literally see it. They've literally only letting you see what they want you to see. Let's have a look at that little hill in the bottom. This is absolute proof that they're actually messing with these photos. But these people want to tell you different. It absolutely makes a difference. Well, you can't go over 500%. There's 500%, or else you'll get that grid on that photo. Literally, but now check this out. White, white. There's something right here, starting from here, going all the way here. It's white and coming back. Can you see that? Right there. It's shadowed. It's got like a little silhouette underneath it. Look at the information being taken out of this photo. Here's that thing I was telling you about, that rock. Right there. and it looks like there's 2 black circles on it, or it might be just a pixelation. They're trying to cover over this. But they're doing this, guys. They're literally sanitizing and just really going to town on these photos. But you get people like Jeffrey claiming, oh, he's wrong. It doesn't matter. I don't need to know how they put these photos together. You absolutely do. Absolutely do. You've got people like Jeffrey's all over the world. You've got Jimmy's, and you guys know who I'm talking about, who are paid to tell people that they're not doing these to the photos. Here it is. If people research this properly, they would find this stuff is actually being obfuscated. Here it is. Here's the proof right there. Now, let's do this. I'm going to go into the yellow plate while I'm still in the black plate, and guess what? All these gray areas, that's all the obfuscation. How much of this photo do you think you're seeing, guys? 20%? 30%? Yeah, exactly. This is the reason why people need to research. So if Jimmy or Jeffrey wants to go ahead and bash me, hey, all the power to you. You know, I've had a couple of his videos kicked off because he was basically flaming my channel and the information I'm putting out. But this is due to a lack of knowledge and just being ignorant. You know, again, he claims, well, NASA, you know, they're not lying about these photos. This guy, blah, 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 blah. But in the meantime, he says, well, they do lie. Well, wait a minute. Like I said, hold on. Claims I'm a bully. Claims I'm a bully. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't know anything about this guy for, like I said, up till the last few days. And he's the one that's bashing my video. How am I the bully? I'm just going on there stating you're wrong, and that you don't know what you're talking about. So, you know, whatever. But hey, I look at it this way: if he's messing with my channel, he's leaving other people alone, which he did state. Yours is not the only channel I'm going after. Wait a minute. If you had complete knowledge of this stuff, I'd see your point, but you don't. So how silly are you going to look? Anyway, guys, it's just funny. But anyway, it's not about, like I said, it's not about this particular guy, Jeffrey. It really doesn't. It really doesn't matter. What I want to do is I want to show unequivocally that they're actually fooling these photos. And you can see the information. I'm going to show you right here. We're just going to go right to the normal photo, and you can see that. And people go, well, it's blurry because you zoomed in. No, it should pixelate, not blur. And here's the information. As pixelated as it is, doesn't matter. It's still detail. But yet, the information's been blotted out. And you can see that as plain as day. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Well, you can't because there's grid after 500%. And there you go. Down to the hill. So anyway, guys, I mean, I just want to show you this, you know, this because there's some people out there that will claim they see all these different, like whether it be small people or whatever. And that's not the case, guys. They're really not seeing this stuff. Now, I'm not saying they haven't, because I've even seen things that they clearly didn't cover up, or maybe we have somebody on the inside who's a little disgruntled and going, hey, let's just go ahead and just slip that out, or it's slow disclosure, which I'd like to believe the latter. But anyway, check it out. It's right there as plain as day. How much more blotting out can you do? But they don't expect people to analyze these photos. They say, hey, look, here's the photo. Doesn't that look great? Sure it does. It looks awesome. Be none the wiser. But there's so much information, all of this. How do we know? And guess what, guys? I'm going to be honest with you. How do we know that this information being taken out, maybe there's nothing mechanical about it. Maybe nothing. How about organics? How do we know there's not all grass? Because think about it. This is the real color, and I'm going to go ahead and back out because we're going to be all real close to this thing. How do we know that these photos, or what's in this photo, isn't just grass and shrubs and stuff, and they're just blocking it all out? How do we know? Just bunches of, you know, just bunches of grass here, and here, growing out of this hillside. How do we know? It could be either or. Either way, they're lying. Because even if there wasn't a shred of proof of anything on the planet, you know, anything intelligently made, wouldn't matter. Because if you look at this, if there was organics and they're blocking out, guess what? If there's grass, trees, shrubs, whatever the heck it may be, again, they're lying. They claim there's no life on the planet. Anyway, guys, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. It's basically like a tutorial so everybody can understand this. And it's kind of a little retort back to Mr. Jeffrey, my newfound friend. Of course, I'm being sarcastic. But you know what? He could have came to my channel and said, hey, you know what? Why didn't you use the JP2? The JP2s? And, you know, why do you say that these are structures? He could have just simply asked me. No, just took it upon himself. He was just going to bash my channel. And he doesn't know what copyright means. You cannot use somebody else's face in a video, and their material that they're using in their video, that's copyright. He claims it's not. Of course it is. It says right in the rules where it has to have, the person has to have the permission from the person that they have in the video. You can't just bash people or just throw their shit around like it's no big deal. Unless you said, hey, I want to use this information. Would you mind? And, of course, if the person says, sure, you got my permission, then there's no argument. None. But see, that's not the case. But anyway, guys, I'm not going to hold you up a whole lot longer. I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here. And I do have a moon video coming up also showing more of this obfuscation and the stuff they're hiding, but also stuff that's wide open. And this is awesome. You guys are going to love this. So anyway, stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. It's always appreciated. You guys know that. Share the video. Throw me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you in the next video.